There's not been a truck go past for about the last 10 minutes. I thought, I'll do a quick intro. Arc it in. Right, okay, Saturday morning, where are we? We're here. Well, welcome back. This is probably the episode that you've all been waiting for. Does Bob start? Does Bob move? Does Bob stop? Enjoy the video. Sorting out this cock up with the radiator. It's a used old stock radiator. Came from my parts man Tim, and it still had this kind of the hose attached to this bottom stub. Not this one, but another hose. And what I hadn't realised is that whoever had took the radiator out of the car, not Tim, had used an angle grinder. Yeah, thanks for that, folks. So this is a standard bottom hose pipe. I bought a joiner. And then I've got another one of exactly the same pipes, which I've chopped the end off, because these pipes are only a couple of quid. And then all I'm going to do is join it up, so I'm going to cut it there again and join that onto there. A couple of Jubilee clips, and I can fill the cooling system up. Oh yes. And then these two power steering hoses, I can't find the big R clips that secured them onto the front chassis rail, so I'm just going to zip tie them on. I've got a couple of beefy old zip ties. Good enough for TVR, good enough for me. Then I'm going to crack on with the tailgate. Now, tailgate. Overall, it's in pretty good shape for what it is. The only piece of rust I found is here, which somehow has managed to kind of just open up in the entire box section. The other side is fine. Oh my goodness, if I could stop hiccuping. So I've just gulped a load of coffee. Don't do that again, Richard. I'll give it a lick of coat, a lick of paint in a minute and see where I'm going with that. I've mounted the washer bottle. That's all connected up now to the electronics. And it works beautifully. Yeah, we're getting closer to engine start. And the other thing I've done is I've plumbed in all of the pipe, the breather, the return hose, etc. is all now plumbed in to the fuel filler. So I'm going to lob some fuel in later on. The only thing I still need to do on the fuel system, apart from checking the carburetors, which are over there, is run the wire for the fuel pump through to the fuse box. I think what I'll probably end up doing is I'll run it along the transmission tunnel in a sheath or something. It's going to be fused up there anyway, so it'll be fused right at the source of the power. So if it ends up getting a screw through it or whatever, then bloody hell, that shuts nicely. Yes, well, I put the indicator housings on as well yesterday. They look really smart. They're not the right type, because they shouldn't have the black stripe down the edge there for an A-Suffix. Now, I know the car's got side repeaters, and we shouldn't have those either, but, you know, kind of like, are we creating a concourse machine, or are we creating an early Range Rover that's actually usable and visible on the streets? So, for instance, rather than just having a side light there, I've got the side lights here, as you've seen already. And then I've got the bonnet insulation panel, which is just over here, and amongst all this seat detritus, which I need to clear up. And that is going to go back under the bonnet in a minute as well. You hear the boys over the road are making a racket. Now, on the bonnet plunger, I haven't actually got the right bit for the A-Suffix. I've got a catch, which could almost certainly go in there. Will it go in there? No, it's too big to go in there. Too big. Too big. I'm going to find a catch, correct catch, safety catch for the bonnet, but I can get everything else done on that. It won't pass the MOT with that the way it is. And then things like the washer pipe has already gone through. Run the washer, rear washer, the bidet is hanging out the arse. Oh, that's just out loud, Christian. That was out loud. That was absolutely out loud. Let's come. Started yesterday on all the prep that's needed in order to get this thing up and running. So finished off the breather pipes, they're in place. Once the elbows are on the inlets, that'll work. We've got oil pressure already, know that. Filled the cooling system up, and the cooling system emptied itself out again. Oh, you fucking bastard. It happens, folks, I'm afraid. It happens at the best of times, and it's gone right down again. So the cooling system is leaking. Now, I have been through this thing with a fine-tooth comb. I found, first of all, the thermostat, because the first thing you check is, have I seated the thermostat properly? Because it's possible for the thermostat to slip and stop the gasket from seating. And then what happens is the water doesn't drip down from the thermostat housing, it runs underneath the bloody inlet manifold and drips down where you can't see it. Then I found there was one hose at the back here that was kind of, the clip was loose on it. And lastly, joy of 1,000 joys, the matrix is leaking on the heater. So the fucking heater's going to come out. I did check this heater matrix, but it's not having it. So in order to get the heater matrix out, I've got to take the transmission cover out. Luckily, because most of the dash wasn't actually in there, it's like 20 minutes to get that heater unit out. You still have to loosen the passenger side of the dash. You will have to remove the vent on the top. This is for the early cars with the heater motor that sits on the outside of the unit. You have to remove that because the heater won't go past it. And of course, you have to take out the long stick extension. It's cost me a lot of fun, this long stick extension. Right, so that can just sit back on there at the moment, just to stop ingress of dirt and shite. Now, I'm just going to get this thing apart. I need my screwdriver. I'll pop it down the bench. Oh, yes. There's a couple of problems I've got with this. First and foremost, it does look like someone's been through that with an angle grinder, but secondly, look at it. It's not good, is it? Right, so luckily with these older style boxes, you don't have to separate the whole clamshell, you can just pull the end plate off. So let me get this organised. I'll time lapse it. Time you listen to some stupid music on this channel. I haven't had stupid music on this channel for a while now. You could listen to some stupid music. Okey-dokey, one heater matrix, which is in fairly good order actually, but what's happened is the solder here has broken. And there's quite a lot of solder on there, and I don't really want to go near that because I'm going to end up melting the end plates here. So it needs to have something done with it, but it needs to be repaired rather than scrapped, so I will repair it. So what I need to do now is probably get one of the other spare heater units I've got down and see if there's a good matrix into that I can put into this box, and that one can then be repaired at a later point. This was definitely a spare parts heater box. To be quite honest, I could probably get the heater matrix out of it without too much aggravation. I should undo a few screws on it. I think it will come out without an awful lot of persuasion. Otherwise what happens is that each of these screws will be rusted in solid. Matrix. What's it look like? Well, it looks intact. It's got some crap on the foam on the end there. Let's get rid of the box. Back up onto the shelf. Go back on the shelf. Further spares. A quick scoof of all the rusted shite off the bench. I've lost my hand brush. If anyone sees Basil, let me know. Right, now let's have a look. What I'll do is I'll take the foam off around the outside. This foam's just glued on there to give it a nice seating. Of course, then the foam soaks water and rots the box from the inside out. You can use rubber, you can use anything you like really. Let's take this off because it's going to be crap. Well, I'm seeing a lot worse. There's some spiders in there, I'm sure. Round that off. It's solid. it's taking a bit more. It's gurgling. We've got heat at this end. There is heat at this end. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. The header tank at the other end is definitely hot. And both pipes are full. Right, I want a container now to put that lot into, so I can sloof it through a couple of times. What this chap's doing. It's not very wide. This is bad. The banal shite I put you guys through, eh? Just going to rust a few on that here. Because otherwise what will happen is if I leave oil in here, then oil will end up inside of the heater matrix, then you'll start the engine up and wonder why there's kind of mayonnaise then in the cooling system. Right, this heater matrix is hot right the way across the entire length. I'm actually quite hopeful for this thing. 48. So within 5 degrees, right the way across that matrix. Down there's a bit cooler. Might be a blockage down there, but bear in mind the water's going to be cooling down quite quickly. Let's tip it out again. I don't think there's any leaks on it. Came out a lot quicker that time. Right, boil up some fresh water. Having swilt that back and forth a little bit, that's the detritus, that was the crap that came out of it. There's a fair bit of sludge in there. Nice, eh? Plops. So I'm just going to go tip that outside and we'll give it another go. In fact, there's quite a bit more left in here still. Probably could do with some clean water, but I'm out of water. When these things go back together again, all I do is I use this rubber strip. I get this off Woolies trim, oddly enough. There you go. That can go around to there. I'll chop it. And then I need to cut a slot for the pipe. And a bit of duct tape across there, and that does it. Duct tape stops it rattling around, and it's better than the foam in that it doesn't just soak up water. It probably would be a bad idea to soak up water, but I don't really want any water in here. So that can go back in now. So I'm going to reassemble this thing. I don't need to show you me doing that. Let's get it back to the stage we were at when I was ready to start this thing up yesterday. Currently losing track a little bit of what I've videoed and what I haven't videoed here. Right, now, that's typical, isn't it? Just start videoing, the boys kick off. Never mind, it happens. So first and foremost, I got a fog light switch off Mr. Hammond. It's a little sweetie, isn't it? Does it work? It should work. Yes, it does work. Only works in one direction. So, turn that around. And down is fog light on. That'll work. I can do that. One of the wires has come off. This is fairly typical, unfortunately, because of the effort goes into making that. So I'll just solder that back in there again. Cut that terminal off and put my bullet connectors on. That'll work. Hell, honestly, it's been silent all morning. What are we now? 10:30 bloody 4. GCSE results are high. There you go. Teachers marking exams. These are the same teachers that give everyone a fucking prize at sports day. Everyone needs a prize. No. Second is the first of the losers. How about that? So, anyway, we're talking a load of nonsense here and we should be getting on with this car. So I'm getting ready to start this thing up. Which may happen this episode, it may happen next episode. But it's going to start up. Ben got in the car the other day. I was checking to find out whether we were getting full throttle or not. He got to about half throttle. And the fucking end came flying off the throttle cable. This is the second time this has happened to me. Not the second time on this car, but the second time it's happened to me. So what I'm thinking is, these things aren't crimped on tight enough. And I've had enough of this crap. So I have got a little box here of hex Allen screws. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drill a hole through there. I'm going to push the cable in and I'm going to clamp it with one of these little fuckers. It will end up being a complete faff, so I soldered it. I pushed the cable right the way through and soldered it into place. And it's had about 10 pounds on it so far and it ain't gone. So I'm going to put it back on again. Bad enough. Right, Mr. Crunch is going on in the background. You're just going to have to live with that, I'm afraid, folks. What I wanted to do here, I'm just going through the final checks before I connect up the ignition. We get this thing, try and start this thing. Cooling system's now working. I've been through and fitted my soldered together throttle cable and adjusted that, and I'm getting a good full throttle. Next thing I need to do now, I'm just going to double check these carburetors and make sure that I've got them to a baseline setting. It's got that style of adjuster, and just see what we are. There's quite a bit of power there. Yeah, they're going in. Now we're going out. Let's just wind it right out. Half turns back in. It'll be quite a lean mix, I think, but we'll see. Oops, thank you, gravity. Pop him back in there again, making sure, of course, that we've got the diaphragm pointing into the slotted hole, which is over there. Otherwise, it won't be right. Goes in there. I can put that dashpot top back on again now. Not forgetting the spring, of course. I'll do the other one. Right, got the new cap. I've taken the distributor out because I just wanted to double check the spark. You can fucking hear that spark, that's a monster. Look. Happy enough with that. That's a good spark. So turn the ignition off. And then I need to put the distributor back in on top dead centre, put the plugs in, and let's see if we can get it going. Hey, what do you reckon? It's got to be worth a go, hasn't it? Right, take this off. Ignition's off. This little tester, by the way, I got it off Amazon. It's very, very good. Comes with that kind of thing over the top of it, but it's easier to see and hear the spark. It hasn't got that over the top of it, but just be careful of the spark. Unless you like frizzy hair. Right, now let's take that one off. And I shall time lapse me putting the leads on, because that's just going to be dreadfully boring for you to watch with me going over it. Can't find any more excuses. I think we're pretty much there. I've got everything now in place. So let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. I've got no cloak on this thing at the moment. Might fire, it might not. No ignition light. Why have we got no ignition light? I had this thing off yesterday because, had it off for now, because I had to faff around with the inlet manifold. Right, that's done there. The only reason I stopped videoing is because every single job today has been a battle. Every single one. It's not like I got out of bed on the wrong side either. Every single little job has caused me problems. Right, now it might, I've got no terminals on the, well, sorry, I've got terminals on the battery, but not a lot. Right, will it come? Sound like it wants to go there, does it? Float chambers are cold. I want to double check the ignition timing on this thing. There is no choke on it, of course. Let's give it a bit of choke. How are we going to do that? Should start without a choke, to be quite honest, because the alternative is I just wedge a load of fuel down the inlet. I just want something to hold that. There we go. That one. That'll do it. Just thinking about it. Just thinking about whether it's just going to piss me off or not. I'll tell you what I can do. I can do it this way. This is how I did Bob. Sorry, not Bob. Redshift. Right, let's try it. Kind of kicks backfiring through the carb, so I'm just going to double check the distributor because I've had it in and out a couple of times, and we've also got a big leak on the power steering, which isn't a lot of cop, is it? Why is that hose leaking? It's not done up, that's why. Let's do it up. Done that. Right, next, ignition off, battery off, crank engine top dead centre. Torch face, here he is, just so I can see the top dead centre marks. Oh look, we're pretty much there anyway. Top dead centre. It says on the crank. Now, I'm not necessarily going to believe the crank, but we'll just double check the distributor first of all. Right, we are 180 degrees out. How have I managed that? How have I managed that? That's weird, isn't it? Okay, well, we can fix it. Just means I've got to take the distributor out again and pop it back in. Distributor comes up. Right, nothing else connected to it. Up we come. Come on, up you come. Roll the distributor around to where it should be. We are pointing at 11 o'clock, which is good. So if I go back down again now. It's thinking about it. Come on, why aren't you going down? Be there, and then come on. Right, it's not going to go on to that, so let me next balance that over there. There's no power to the battery at the moment. Let's twizzle the oil pump round. get my tool on it for now. The problem is, because it's got oil pressure now, the oil pump's tighter than it would be if it hadn't got oil pressure on it. Right, pop this back down. Right, that's in, and that's pointing to number 1 now, which I thought it was before, which is weird. That's definitely top dead centre there. I don't know how I managed that. It's definitely top dead centre, definitely on number 1 spark plug. Now, wrestle this bastard back in again, which is great fun. I'll swear at this thing as well. Like I said, I've wrestled with everything today. It's just been one of those fucking days. Worst job I ever had. You have to listen to that one. Dove and Pete. Worst job I ever had. I don't know how they got away with this. Anyway. Right, let's do that up so it's not going to allow the distributor to walk out. I want to be able to move the distributor, but that'll do. Positioned halfway between thermostat, water pump. Reposition 2 cables. Reposition distributor capri, donk, and get past that donk. Take ratchet out. Try again. Battery on. Bit of choke. I ran out of space on my SD card. Good job I spotted that. Now, we have got, we had an oil leak down here. Sorry, fuel leak. Oh, oil leak, fuel leak, I don't know, whatever leak. I just nipped that up a bit tighter. I'm going to try and rotate the distributor just a tiny bit. We'll see if it runs a bit cleaner. Bear in mind, the carbs haven't been done, nothing's been done. It's running probably without choke now. Let's see what it does now. If they can't keep it running, then I'll set up a remote start. Well, it is out, it is in the line. Happy enough with the all station running. Here as well. Back unit up there.
sorted out before I can identify what noises our engine makes before our belts loose on the alternator. I'll tell you what, I haven't got the brake servo connected, that should help it. That's sorted out one massive noise. So we've been running way too deep this week for that. Exhaust flow down here, I know. I've not tuned the car yet. Apart from the exhaust flow, that's quite sweet. I'm just going to set this ignition timing on it. Right, starts. About there, but I need to now turn the faster. It's 9. That's 6 degrees. Woo!
I'll be honest, yesterday was a right bastard of a day. Just about everything kind of that I could have, have go wrong, went wrong. We kind of managed to fix all of the little issues and concerns now. So basically we had a leaking core plug, great. Touched it, it fell out, great. Well, it didn't fall out, it just started leaking more, so I knocked it out. And then put another one in, and it seems to have sealed that one, but now another one's leaking. I think that they just need to bed in. Engine needs to heat up and cool down a couple of times. So then there was that. The exhaust blow, I've had the whole exhaust off, I've had the manifolds off, I've realigned it all, I've put it back together again. What a swine of a job. Steering, drag link went on, and it's around here somewhere. That was the drag link I had. Sorry, that was the ball joint on the drag link, because obviously one end of the drag link sits on the drop arm, the other end sits on the near side hub. Doesn't fit through the hub. So I had to go out, Dingo Croft came to the rescue, bought a pair of new drag links just in case. Anyway, that's fitted up now. Done rudimentary tracking, very, 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 very rude. Sorted that out. A lot of grazed knuckles, a lot of shouting and swearing. Sorted out the bump stops. What else did I struggle? But a heater went back in. I think I've showed you the heater going back in. Put the centre console back in. One issue I've got with the centre console is that the choke module is being pushed out by the fucking put my teeth in, by the heater box. I might move the choke module up here. It will work. It will work. It will work one way or another. It will work. I didn't shut very nicely. Did that time. What else did I struggle with yesterday? Something was given. Oh yeah, handbrake cable went in. That was a battle, I'll tell you. You really don't want to do a handbrake cable on one of these things. You really don't. And don't ask me to do it for you either, because I will not. But the handbrake is in now. In fact, does it move? Let's pull the handbrake on. Well, that seems to be working. Handbrake off. There's a chock somewhere. See what I mean about battling? Bumper went on. There is a brand spanking new famous 4 bumper underneath this cling film. Look at that, beautiful, very nice. I'm leaving that on there. Yeah, it's just one of those things that every single little job, tinsy wincy little job, was a battle. But we've got there, and I think what we're going to do now is we're going to see if the clutch works. I know the clutch works because I was able to select a gear when the engine was running the other day, but I didn't bring the clutch up to find out what the bite point was. So let's do that now. Right, I'm just going to use series as a temporary stand there for the useable flip, whatever that is. I don't know. I really don't. No idea. Right, I've got no mirrors on this thing, so it's going to be slow. Slightly slow, you catch you won't keep. That's why I sat in this. Right, choke out a tiny bit. This come forward quite a lot further in. You can hear the exhaust is blowing a lot there. Oh! 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 Bob is out of the workshop. Still needs a damn good tune up. The exhaust is sitting too high there. There's a squeak or a rattle that's coming in down here. Carbs still need tuning up. It's still cold. It's good though, isn't it? Oh yes. Final phase of this project, fitting out. Fitting out. Now, the idea behind Bob coming out is I want my dad's car, the white one, to go in over there. So I need to get rid of the bench, put my dad's car just at an angle over there, then Bob can go in the middle. Because I need space outside. Gotta have a damn good sweep up first of all. What a mess. What a mess. This workshop's quite big when Bob's not in here. Push that choke in. Choke's in. There's no bonnet catch or anything on this thing yet, but still quite straight in there. Now, the rattle I'm telling you about, I think it's just the exhaust rattling. I haven't got the gearbox rattling. That'll be irritating. Understatement of the decade. Right, let me just sort the seats and cover those. I'm a happy chappy. Oh yes. I think we need to go for a drive, don't we? That's what I say. Right. Where are you going to stand? You're going to stand over there. You're going to behave yourself standing over there. That's the squeak on there, isn't it? First, it's a bit tricky to select, but it selects. Not a sweet scratch. All very tight. Damn well should be. Whoops, there's the camera. Probably a bit mean, I think.
brakes work. Right, we need to find out what the fucking noise is though. Don't get the stepping straight. I'm confident it's not the gearbox, because I can't hear anything untoward through the gearbox casing. These things are brilliant when I get on. Right, let's do a video for my customer now.
Found the squeak, the annoying, vile squeak. Listen. Yeah. Just a vibration. I need to tighten all these fixings down. So that's done that. Next up. Not so nicely. I've configured another of these privacy keys. So this is on the passenger door, and that now works with the ignition key. So ignition key now opens both doors, or will when that's fitted, and the ignition. There you go.